Hello viewers, you are in the right place. EnvironCompass channel is a one-stop shop for individuals, academic institutions, students, lawmakers, entrepreneurs, and various practitioners interested in mitigating the environmental problems currently plaguing the planet, as well as those that might arise in the future. The channel will equip all concerned with information, technology, as well as highlight a myriad of relevant and readily usable business techniques and tools that promote environmental sustainability. We will also be making forays or brief excursions into Environment 101 for millennials and Generation Z of all walks of life in an effort to equip all concerned as they do their bit to promote environmental preservation. EnvironCompass will also be recommending appropriate sources of information for further reference for interested parties as we go along. The channel also provides robust information and guidance for those entrepreneurs who would like to explore opportunities for gaining competitive advantage and driving profitability while underpinning environmental sustainability efforts. An objective of the channel is to crystallize into a language all can understand the hypertalk of think tank institutions that are relevant to the mitigation of the various environmental problems, and to synthesize the information, activities, and results that are reported by the various environmental agencies, such, for instance, as the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in the case of global warming and climate change. An equally important objective is to synthesize the information, activities, and results that are generated by the treaties and protocols that have been signed under the auspices of these environmental agencies. These treaties and protocols contain the exact guidance and algorithms by which corporations, industries, and governments have to abide by in order to heighten the chances of achieving environmental preservation. In the case of global warming and climate change, these examples are the Kyoto Protocol and its sequel, the Paris Agreement. We will therefore also keep track of the industrial activities that have sprung up as a result of these treaties and protocols. EnvironCompass will also highlight the quantification of the human environmental footprint. We will do so by keeping track of the statistics that are provided by the international energy agencies on planetary energy production and use, and correlate these with the projected greenhouse gas emissions. We will also keep track of the research institutions and the results thereof, as these institutions endeavor to come up with solutions to contain environmental damage. All this will be done towards providing guidance on the way forward in order to foster individual, group, and corporate engagement in reducing the human environmental footprint. The full range of the environmental issues the channel covers are global warming and climate change, deforestation, land degradation, plastics and microplastics, population explosion, and the related issues of water scarcity and urban sprawl. The channel also covers the less frequently mentioned problems such as eutrophication and ocean acidification. In a little more detail, and going back to the example of global warming and climate change, we know from the IPCC reports that the planet cannot afford an increase in its median temperature of more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. Past this tipping point, the planet will start to self-destruct. As mentioned before, we have the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement as frameworks to help humanity to stay below this tipping point. Plus, we have technologies such as carbon capture and storage and a myriad of other technologies that have been developed in order to increase our chances of keeping the planet below this tipping point. How does all this add up? How accurate are our monitoring techniques? Can we be sure of staying below this tipping point? If not, what additional activities or technologies can we adopt in order to ensure we do not overshoot the tipping point? Last but not least important, how can all this be done in a win-win manner for all concerned? Remember Professor Roger Pilker's iron law? When policies focused on economic growth confront policies focused on emissions reduction, it is the policies focused on economic growth that will win out every time. Look at President Macron's carbon taxes. Macron had to make a U-turn on the carbon taxes due to the protests of the gilets jaunes, or the yellow jackets. Angela Merkel had to make concessions to the might of the German car industry and the country's powerful coal mining sector to water down the 2020 carbon targets. The US is pulling out of the Paris Agreement altogether. So, where does all this leave us as we strive to stay below the tipping point? EnvironCompass takes on the significance of all this. Okay, folks, here comes a recap of what the channel is all about. In the next video, we will discuss how we will be linking up all these overwhelming amounts of information.